Hi, so I made it to the end of day 2 at Tiff. I am exhausted. It was a very long day. As I mentioned before, I did wake up very early to try to get some tickets that become available every morning at 7 a.m. In theory, they become available, but I guess they get snapped up really, really quickly. I don't know. I haven't quite figured out the trick to that one yet. When I do, I will pass on the information. But in the meantime, I did discover that rushing tickets is still a very, you know, plausible way of getting tickets even for things that have been sold out for quite a while, which is what happened to me today. But first of all, I'll just mention that the three films I saw today were Palo Alto, Hateship, Loveship, and People and Places. So the first one, bright and early in the morning, Palo Alto, really great film. Gia Coppola, granddaughter of Francis Ford Coppola, niece of Sofia Coppola, and also a fantastic director, it turns out, in her own right. I was very curious to see, you can't help it but to think that possibly the offspring of other such great directors is going to produce something fantastic, and she did. I personally think it was beautifully done, beautifully captured the story, the coming of age story that's based on Palo Alto, the collection of short stories by James Franco. And I already became familiar with the source material having read the short stories, but also while the sort of Indiegogo uh, sort of program was going on to fund other films that are going to be based on that source material. So this film has, I must make it very clear, has nothing to do with that Indiegogo project. However, it is as well from the same source material. But I just sort of, having been involved in that, I got really excited about those stories coming to life on the screen. And the other directors for those films had talked about, what they want to do, and saw a lot of interviews. So I just, all that kind of had whet my appetite. So when I saw that there was already a film that was done with this source material, I was very excited to see it, and I must say I was not disappointed. It was a fantastic film. I don't want to spoil a thing. I think it could be a classic. I liked it so much. I'm nervous because it doesn't have distribution yet, but I cannot imagine it won't get it soon, because as soon as young people see this, to me, it's the most realistic uh, sort of depiction of teenhood that I've seen since like Dazed and Confused. Great Richard Linklater film that I absolutely adored, as well. And so the next screening for Palo Alto, and the final screening at this festival, is September 13th at 6 p.m. If there are no longer tickets left, I recommend you do a rush on that and definitely go see this. There was a Q&A afterwards with Gia Coppola, and she talked a little bit about how supportive James Franco was in the process. He does play a role in the film. He was not at the Q&A. I believe he was here last night, so I don't know. Doesn't matter. He was very supportive in getting this film made, and helping her through putting together her first feature film. And a couple of the actors were there, including Jack Kilmer, which is Val Kilmer's son. Does a fantastic job. I mean, the character in particular that he played, I promise you, I knew a guy like that in high school. And so it was it was so true to life that it was like watching a documentary. And I will also, spoiler alert, I will mention one of the cameos in the film is Jack's dad, Val Kilmer. So look out for that really funny cameo appearance by him. Also in the film is Emma Roberts, who wasn't there for the Q&A, but just I want to mention her because it kind of occurred to me after the fact that it's a film full of, Hollywood legacies or royalty, whatever you want to call them. So that is the first thing. And then the next thing I saw was Hateship, Loveship, based on the Alice Munro short story collection called Hateship, Friendship, Courtship, Loveship, Marriage. And in particular, so it's a collection of short stories, but then this was concentrating on the short story with called Hateship, Friendship, Courtship, Loveship, Marriage. And yes, I have to write it down and refer to it every time because it's very, very long and I forget, especially how tired I am. And That too had a Q&A afterwards. Liza Johnson, the director, was there along with the person who adapted it to the screen for the screenplay, and the producer. Apparently, this film took a while to sort of get off the ground. There was a couple of issues. I think there was maybe one studio wanted it and then didn't, and then so it's taken a while, and now at least it's done, and done, I must say, fantastically. I'm familiar with Alice Munro's works. I don't know if you're familiar as well. If you are and you like her work, then you will love this, because it really captures her sense of timing and the sort of the intimacy of the characters in the film very well, uh, and of course it's a very character driven piece. And Catherine Wig, who most of us know through comedy, is in the principal role in the film, and she plays this wonderfully complex, interesting female character in the film. And I'm not surprised that, she can do this well on a drama piece, because not that I have not had the pleasure of seeing her in any other dramatic pieces. I do believe she's done at least one other one before, but I know from what I know about her career, and yes, she's done sketch comedy and wonderful films, uh, and she wrote and then performed in the hilarious Bridesmaids. But even there in Bridesmaids, you can see that she has not only comedic chops but dramatic chops, and I believe that obviously her extensive experience and years of doing improv, long form improv in particular, has helped her in developing such a rich character, such a character. She just embodies um, this person in a so much so that you don't see Kristen Wiig anymore. You don't think SNL. It's it is this wonderful Alice Munro story come to life on screen. So I recommend seeing that. And the next time that'll be on at the festival. Then again, the final showing is on September 14th at 9:45 a.m. So very possible to get rush tickets. And I actually got rush tickets for this one. And even though it was on the first Saturday of the festivals and it was at 12:30, which when it would be a time when, a lot of people want to see it and it's been sold out for ages, I got there about 40 minutes before the screening. I was 20th in line, and me and even a lot of people behind me all got in to see the film. So I really recommend you do that. And if you must, you have to rush somehow, because this has been, like I said, sold out for weeks, which I feel bodes well for the possibility of it being released, nationwide fairly soon. So then finally, I saw People in Places. Juan Cavastani, a Spanish film, is made. He directed, produced, shot, everything. One man uh, film shop. And he made it for apparently 30,000 euros. So very tight budget, micro budget. And it's part of the Vanguard program. And that means that it's going to be pushing the envelope type of film, which it indeed is. And and so I should probably touch on that. I don't want to spoil anything, but I will just sort of mention a little bit about how it's sort of pushing the envelope, I guess. And that if you've seen and enjoyed a film like A Scanner Darkly, again, Richard Linklater, I two films today that I saw reminded me of his work. That might be my own personal obsession with Richard Linklater, or it may be legitimate. I don't know. But in that, you have these vignettes that seem like they kind of weave one into the next, into the next, and they seem isolated and separate, but yet they all carry through them a common thread of sort of a philosophy or some message that's trying to get through with all these different people, different walks of life. And so it's that same kind of thing, but there's no what's the I am going blank on the term, but uh, the treatment that sort of makes it like an animation. No, this is completely live action, talking $30,000 budget, so it's get in there, shoot it, quick and dirty, but nicely done. Actually, every shot seemed like meticulous, even though it's probably because it's all under one man's control. Like not just one man, but just one person. You know, when you've got it's your hands are in all the pots, then I guess there's a lot of cohesion to the piece. But he was there for the presentation. The director, writer, producer, the filmmaker, and but he did not have a Q&A, but he did mention at the beginning that though he is responsible for pretty much all aspects of the film, he did have a lot of help, including a massive cast. So it was, every vignette, and I have no idea how many there were in the 2 hours. But yeah, there's about, I feel like it was like a 30-person cast at least. And it was a delightful film. It's light in a way, even though it's touching on a lot of serious, hard topics. Particularly, it seems to be dealing with the hardship of living in Spain now with their ongoing economic turmoil. And I don't know, possibly there was some undertones from some other like regional issues, but I'm not familiar enough with Spain's sort of political issues to know what was maybe specifically referencing that. But nonetheless, it didn't stop me from enjoying the comedic scenes, of which there are many. Many of them are very sort of absurdist, somewhat surreal, so fun in that way, and definitely a different kind of film, a film you're not likely to see elsewhere. So if you're interested in doing the festival and seeing something different and interesting and that's going to keep you sort of thinking afterwards, then yeah, I think I could recommend this film for you. But I'm always hesitant to recommend something in the Vanguard series unless you're a real sort of adventurous film goer, because yeah, it's hit or miss and it's not everybody's cup of tea. And yeah, I liked it. I didn't love it, but it was good. It was fine, interesting film. And the next time that's going to be shown is on September 13th at 9 p.m. So there you have it. That's day 2, and I'm gonna sleep and get up early and try to get a rush ticket again for something, and I will be back to report as to how that all went down tomorrow. Okay? Bye!